हाय एवरीवन, आई एम रोहित तेरा IELTS टीचर और आज हम करने वाले हैं एक और IELTS रीडिंग। सो शुरू करते हैं अपनी रीडिंग को। सो फर्स्ट ऑन वी हैव क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आर ट्रू फॉल्स नॉट गिवन। सो फटाफट देखते हैं इनका लॉजिक क्या है। क्वेश्चन नंबर फर्स्ट, द अर्ली स्पेनिश कॉल्ड पोटैटो एज द इंकन नेम। जो अर्ली स्पेनिश थे वो इसे चूनो बोला करते थे पोटैटो को। दे कॉल्ड पोटैटो चूनो। लेट्स सी, डिड दे कॉल द सेम or they call different name? Let's see. The potato was first. So we are actually looking for early Spanish first. Early Spanish, early Spanish, early Spanish, early Spanish, early Spanish, early Spanish, early Spanish. There is no early Spanish. The next paragraph, yes, we have early Spanish. Early Spanish chroniclers who misuse the Indian word batata as a name for potato. So they called it batata. They called potato batata. They did not call it chuno. That means they used a different name from this. In this case, they did not use chuno. So the statement is false. Let's see next. The purpose of Spanish coming to Peru was to find potatoes. Their purpose of coming to Peru, let's say, was to find potatoes. Let's see. Was it the same purpose or was it different? Let's first find Peru. Peru, Spanish in Peru. It's not here. The Spanish conquerors first encountered the potato when they arrived in Peru. So they have talked about Peru. In 1532, in search of gold. So Spanish arrived in Peru for gold. But question says they arrived for potatoes. That means this statement is false. Let's see next. The Spanish believe that potato has the same nutrients as other vegetables. So now they're comparing. They're saying potato is same as other nutrients, other vegetables in nutrients. So let's see. That is what Spanish believe. So Spanish have been mentioned here and here, but they did not talk about nutrition here. So let's read. And noted in manners. At the time of Spaniards failed to realize that the potato represented a far more important treasure than either silver or gold, but they did gradually begin to use potatoes as basic rations aboard their ships. After the arrival of potato in Spain in 1570, a few Spanish farmers began to cultivate them on a small scale, most as food for livestock. Throughout Europe, potatoes were regarded. Now they are not going to talk about Spanish anymore. That means here our answer must be, but they have not talked about other vegetables, and they have also not talked about nutritional value of potato. That means this information, or let's say these two elements, main elements of the questions are missing, and if the elements are missing, we know we can't compare, and if we can't compare, we cannot judge. In that case, our answer is not given. Let's see next. Peasants at that time did not like to eat potatoes because they were ugly. So let's see. They did not like, and the reason was that the potatoes were ugly. Let's see. So where they're talking about it. Throughout Europe, potatoes were regarded with suspicion, distaste, and fear. Generally considered to be unfit for human consumption, they were used only as animal fodder and sustenance for the starving in northern Europe. Potatoes were primarily grown in botanical gardens as an exotic novelty. Even peasants refused to eat from a plant that produced ugly, misshapen tubers. So here tubers, actually this means same as potato. So these potatoes were ugly, and that is the reason why the peasants refused to eat them. That means we got answer, which is true. They actually did not like it because these were misshapen ugly tubers, or let's say potatoes. The popularity of potatoes in UK was due to food shortage during war. That means the reason was food shortage. If the reason was something else for popularity in the UK, it is going to be false in that case. Let's see. In meat-loving England, that is UK, saying farmers and urban workers regarded potatoes with extreme distaste. In 1662, the Royal Society recommended the civilization of tuber to the English government and the nation, but this recommendation had little impact. That means so far now It was not popular. Potatoes did not become a staple until staple. So here we've been given staple during the food shortage associated with the Revolutionary Wars. That means potato became staple only after the wars. That means yes, indeed, this answer is also true, because it became popular after the food shortages during the Revolutionary Wars. Let's see, fill up questions which are here. Question number 6. In France, people started to overcome their disgust about potatoes because the king put a potato dash in his buttonhole. Potato, some item of potato in his buttonhole. Let's see. In France. So they're talking about France. Let's quickly move ahead. Let's check. France. Let's say they're talking about France. France. So France. While potatoes slowly gained aged in France, they're talking about it. And we are searching now buttonhole. Let's see where they're mentioning buttonhole. There is no buttonhole. Yes, buttonhole. And what did he use? Potato flour. So answer is flour. Sixth answer. Let's move to next question. Frederick realized the potential of potato, but he had to handle the dash against potatoes from ordinary people. That ordinary people had something against potatoes. Let's see. What was that? And it was obviously negative. Frederick, we've got the thing. The great Prussia, the great of Prussia. That means he was kind of a ruler. Saw the potato's potential to help feed his nation and lower the price of bread, but faced the challenge of overcoming. What was the challenge? People's prejudice. So people had prejudice against it, and that means our answer is 7. We got the answer. Let's move to next. The king of Prussia adopted some dash psychology to make people accept potatoes. Now the king of Prussia adopted certain thing to make people accept it. So king of Prussia is no one except Frederick only, the great of Prussia. So Frederick the Great, that means the great ruler of Prussia. Let's see it further. The town of Kolberg replied, the things have neither smell nor taste. Not even the dogs will eat them. So what use are they to us? Trying a less direct approach to encourage his subjects to begin planting potatoes, Frederick used a bit of reverse psychology. So he used this kind of psychology. So in question also they were asking about what kind of psychology he used. He used reverse psychology. Some reverse psychology. Now, before 1800, the English people preferred eating dash with bread, butter, and cheese. What they ate with bread, butter, and cheese. So we want the fourth thing that they ate. So let's see before 1800, where they're talking about before 800 and English people. Let's say before 800. So it is here prior to 1800. The English diet had consisted primarily of meat, bread, butter, and cheese. So three things are here, and the fourth thing is meat. And answer in this case is night meat. Let's see next quickly. 10th. The obvious way to deal with England food problems was to grow high yielding potato dash. High yielding potato dash. What they were trying to make. High yielding potato dash. Let's see. Few vegetables were consumed, most vegetables being regarded. The Industrial Revolution was drawing an ever increasing percentage of the populace in crowded cities where only the richest could afford homes with ovens or cold storage rooms, and people working 12 to 16 hours a day, days, which left them with little time or energy to prepare food. High yielding, easily prepared potato crops. So here answer is high yielding crops, potato crops. So answer is 10th here. Let's see next. 11th. The Irish dash and climate suited potato wells. So this is bare climate in that. So So what is the next pair of climate? Let's see. Where most of the neighbors regarded the potato with suspicion and proceeded to use it by upper classes, the Irish peasantry embraced it more passionately than anyone since the Incas. The potato was well suited to the Irish soil and climate. So climate element is there, and its other pair is soil. So answer is 11th, answer of 11th question is soil. Let's see 12th. Between 1780 and 1842, based on the dash of potatoes, the Irish population doubled to 8 million. Based on what of potatoes? Let's see. Based on what of potatoes? The most dramatic example of potatoes' potential to alter population patterns. So here is the answer. Potential of potatoes. According to this, where the potato had become a staple by 1800, the Irish population doubled to 8 million between 700 without any significant expansion of industrial reform. So we got the answer. Let's see next. The potatoes' high yields help the poorest farmers to produce more healthy food almost without dash or hard physical work. Again, we need pair of hard work. Let's say more poorer farmers, or let's say the poorest farmers. Hard physical work, and what is the second part that they did not have to do? So let's see where they're talking about poor farmers, poorest farmers to produce more healthy food than they needed with scarcely any investment or hard labor. So we had hard labor there, and the second element is investment. So that's all about our today's reading. Let's quickly go through the synonyms. So let's read questions one by one and let's learn the synonyms. Alright, so let's just begin. Now let's see. So the early Spanish cold, so the first synonym that they gave was for cold. So they said cold here, and there they said named as. So now next, purpose of Spanish was to find potatoes, and in this case they gave in search of as synonym of find. Let's see next. Spanish believed that potato has the same nutrients, and there is no synonym. Peasants at that time did not like to eat potatoes because they were ugly. So in this case they gave synonym of potatoes, and that was tuber. Let's see next. The popularity of potatoes was due to shortages during the war. So in this case they said popularity of potatoes, and then they said staple. So you must know staple food means most dominant food eaten frequently, and it is synonymous to popular food frequently. So if you know this, your IELTS journey is going to be very simple. Next, so these are sets of vocab words. Let's move to next page and see what other words we may have come across. So let's see. Fifth, started to overcome their disgust. King of potato. Disgust, they said hate. Sixth, Frederick realized the potential of this and handled the the king of Prussia adopted some dash psychology to make people accept potatoes. So they said hard physical work, and then they said hard work. So these are the synonyms for today's reading. So let's just write them down here. That's all. The end of today's reading. Thank you everyone.